My name is Ethan Ortiz. I'm the founder of HereYouCo LLC, and today I'll be presenting the Using the Wazuh API video. In this video, I'll be covering how to get the Wazuh version, how to get the list of managed agents, how to add an agent to the manager, get the list of groups, create a group, how to add a group to an agent, how to delete an agent, how to run a syscheck, and how to get the results from the syscheck, and how to create a Python script for a REST query. I'll show how to modify the Postman code into a working sample. I'll start by opening Postman. I'm going to make an API version call, leveraging the Postman environment variables, as you can see. Here I'm using the basic auth, username and password variables being passed from the leveraging the Postman environment. So let's go ahead and submit this query. And here we have the error equals 0, which means it worked, and we have our host name that's hosting our Wazuh manager and our version number. Pretty simple. Next, I'm going to return a list of all the available agents. Authorization is the same, username and password. The endpoint call is /agents, and we'll go ahead and send that. And we get a long list of all the agents in your Wazuh environment. In this case, my first entry is a Linux system, shows my IP address, my machine name, my operating system, and so on. Very easy, quick way to get a high-level list of all your assets under management. Next, we're going to show how to get a new agent added. So we're going to click on Add a New Agent. We've changed the verb to a post. Authorization stays the same, but the body is going to be different. In this case, we actually have a JSON body with the name of the endpoint of the, not the endpoint, the computer, and the IP address. When we hit send, we actually get back the key that we leverage on the endpoint when we install the Wazuh agent. So this is the string. This key is the string you would need on the agent to install the Wazuh agent. ID 15 is the ID provided to that particular agent, and I'm just going to go ahead and change that here so we can look up the agent key. I'm going to temporarily put it there and hit send, and we get back the key. So this is in case you need the key again in the future, and you just retrieve it this way. You can create a loop, of course, and query for multiple machines if you'd like. See there that the keys match. So when you create a new agent, it gives you back the key, or you can query it later. Next, we're going to add a agent to a group, or rather a group to an agent. So we specify the group ID here. I'm again leveraging the Postman environment. I'm referencing the Linux group, and then I'm going to change this to the 015, which is the newly created agent, and we get a return code of 0, which indicates that it worked, and we have group Linux added to agent 015. Next, we'll check the sync status of an agent. So when an agent checks in, it records whether or not its policies are synced up with Wazuh. So this is one quick way to check a particular agent's sync status. Now granted, I'm going to use the 015 agent, which is never checked in, so we should get a synced false. But if your agent was configured properly and reporting in and synced, then that would say synced true. Now, you may want to actually check whether or not any of your deployed agents are on an older version of the agent software. So that's where we can run the list of outdated agents. There's the endpoint URI. We're going to hit send, and it's just a GET request. And we get one machine that's running version 3.9.5. and its ID number 013. So we could go ahead and update that machine, or if it's expired out, we can remove it. And here, so we go ahead and do a remove. This is an example of a remove. In this case, we're removing the ID I added, the 015. And you can see we got all selected agents were removed, and the affected agent was 015. We're going to pretty quickly here just add an agent again, just to illustrate the ID incrementation. Okay, and now we have a 016 and a new key. Again, the last key ended, I believe it was UMA or U upper lowercase m, something like that. In this case, we have a new key that we can provide on an agent, and the numbers increment up even if we delete them. It just continues. Next, we'll create a Wazuh group. As you can see, the HTTP verb is put. Keep an eye on that. And I'm actually using the Postman environment variable new group name, and it's the variable is Raspberry Pi. So this will create a group called Raspberry Pi. Now that we've created a Wazuh group, let's get a list of all the groups that are available in the Wazuh manager. The endpoint is agents/groups, and when we send the request, it's a GET request, we can actually see the Raspberry Pi group is there, and we have a count of 0 because we have no agents assigned to it. Next, we're going to get some system information from a particular agent. So we're going to get hardware info from agent 002. We're going to change that value. Here, if we scroll up to agent underscore ID, we can change that to 02 so that we can query an existing agent that has information. We're going to hit send, and now we have information such as the processor type, the processor speed, RAM, IP address, board serial number, that kind of stuff. We can also query for network information by changing the endpoint URI to end with net ADDR, and we can get the IP address information that was reported by the agent last time it synced up. This next query, we're going to run a sys and root check on a specific agent. So you can see the endpoint URI there. We're going to continue to use the 02 ID and look at the HTTP verb, it's a put. So there we get restarting syscheck root check on the agent, and then we want to see what the results were. So let's take a look at, he returns syscheck files of an agent. And in this case, it's an HTTP GET. This next query returns if the Wazuh configuration is okay. Very simple, but a very good check. Next, we're going to leverage this particular request to create a Python request. I'm going to copy out the code that's provided by Postman, and I'm going to modify it to parameterize the username and password to show how we base64 encode the username :password to create the authorization string. So you can see here we have the username equals rest, the password set there, we have the concatenation of username : and password, and then we base64 encoded. I'm going to take all that and just paste it into Python, and we get a SSL warning because using a self-signed cert, but that's okay. We can actually still test by adding verify equals false, and of course you need the username and password in the authorization header in base64 encoding. Now I'm going to save this as a file so that we can just execute it by running Python and then the script name. So I saved it to temp, and I'm just going to type Python Wazuh underscore manager check, and it returns the same SSL certificate error, but I get the status okay. In production, of course, you would use a valid certificates, but for testing purposes, this will do. My name is Ortiz, and I'm with Here You Go, and I'll see you next time.